Hello everybody, welcome to Nostalgia Goggles, and welcome back to the 40th anniversary and the conclusion of at least this part of it. I'm still going to be doing these throughout the rest of the year. They're just going to be once a month things as usual, hopefully not as late, probably because October's coming and there's other things happening then. But with that being said, today's special. If you can tell on my channel, the Super Nintendo is one of my favorite consoles of all time. And this is one of my favorite games of all time. Today we are asking the question if Super Mario World holds up. An absurd question, I know, but it's worth asking. So let's get into it. After the events of Super Mario Bros. 3, Mario, Luigi, and Peach decide that they need a vacation, same, and decided to get some sun in Dinosaur Land. A prehistoric land full of dinosaurs and apparently great beaches. Why the f would you go to an island with dinosaurs? I've seen enough Jurassic Park, this crazy. Nintendo, what the hell were you doing, dude? Come on. Come on. Seriously, I wrote this. Olivia and I wrote this. And I'm keeping this in. But, sounds like Jurassic Yoshi, dude. Bowser's gonna come out and be like, welcome to Yoshi Park. Anyways, I gotta get back to reading this. While they're relaxing, Princess Peach goes missing, and Mario and Luigi can't find her, but instead find an egg. The egg has Yoshi inside it, who tells Mario and Luigi Bowser and the Koopa Kids are here, and to recoup their losses, they've come to the Dinosaur Island to imprison dinosaurs in the eggs and to conquer the land. Deducing that Princess Peach has been captured by Bowser again, Mario and Luigi and Yoshi team up to rescue Princess Peach and the dinosaurs and save Dinosaur Land from the clutches of King Koopa and the Koopalings. Do you understand how many times I have heard this story in so many different ways that it is this is second nature to me? And the thing that's funny is each time it was retold, it's always something different, right? There is the Mario manga, there is White Knuckle Scorn. I am going to talk about that. I need to talk about that. I feel like White Knuckle Scorn is something that if y'all don't know what it is, oh, buddy, buckle up. That's going to be a 40th anniversary video. I need that to be. And then there's this. This story is so fun because it's a story that is a lot more complex than it really needs to be. And I'm just saying that because, once again, as a person that indulges in video game media outside of video games, like comics and stuff, this is a story that, like I said, I've heard so many times that it's always kind of funny. Because one of the things that always comes to mind is Bowser's "and I'll join OPEC," you know, kind of shit with the story of this, because it's so open, but you can do so much with it. And I think that that's kind of what's fun with this story. With that being said, let's go into the gameplay. Super Mario World is transcendent when it gets right down to what makes Mario World so great, right? Because Mario World's gameplay is outstanding. It is one of my favorite video games of all time, and as a platformer, it is just beautiful for how much it changes and does for the Mario franchise and even platformers in general. This is a near perfect game, and I normally don't like saying that, but in concept it is, because this is one of those games that's beyond itself, which is why I said it's transcendent. The thing that comes to mind for Mario World is playing it reminds me of my childhood. It's a game that, even as somebody that hasn't 100% played this game as a kid, I played it, but it wasn't like my childhood game. It feels like childhood. It feels like summers. It feels like coming home from school. It feels like coming home from a hard day of work. It feels like a game that is comforting. But it also does have that challenge aspect, so much so that the other thing that comes to mind of the gameplay for me is Kaizo Mario, something I have never dared to dabble into, but it is very important, so much so that Nintendo borrowed that concept in Mario Maker, and it wouldn't have been possible without the gameplay decisions of this game. Introducing Yoshi, introducing interesting platforms, introducing interesting ways to complete a level, introducing items like keys, and so on and so forth, and different ways to complete levels. So many things that make this game great as a platformer shows immediately with Super Mario World, and I adore it. I adore Super Mario World's gameplay. They changed things up, allowing you to have a spin attack, and if you're big, the spin attack will destroy certain enemies, destroy blocks. This is some crazy Nintendo shit. This is stuff that Nintendo tries and strides for today, and I absolutely love it. Mario World is phenomenal. This is the game that got the special worlds, where once you got used to the game and you were more comfortable, you could do the more difficult levels in the special zones, and I love that. This game is worth your time back in the day. It is worth your time back in the day. It's the game that kept on giving, and that's what I love about gaming. You know, not every game needs to be this. Sometimes a cinematic experience is what you want, but this is more than that. This is a game that is outstanding, and it shows. I love it. I love Yoshi. I love the power-ups. I love the bosses. None of this wouldn't have been done without Mario 3, but God, did they understand the assignment. This felt like it was on a new level, a next level, if you will. For it to be on the Super Nintendo, it flexed what it could do, and it shows. It shows from playing it. You can feel that it's different. You can feel that they put more time and effort into it. They wanted this game to feel amazing, and it does. I love it. I can go on and on. But this game is great. I love it. I love it. It definitely is one of my convincing points for why the Super Nintendo is one of the greatest consoles of all time, because even a game like Mario is jaw-dropping if you think about it for more than a second. With that being said, is the presentation worth this? Well, let's get into it. I said in my Mario 3 video that Mario 3 is the game that started to establish what Mario is. This is the game that definitely established what Mario is. This is the game that established for a minute what Mario's sound was, what Mario's aesthetic was, what Mario's power-ups were, despite the Fire Flower not really being 100% consistent. That's a whole nother story though. But either way, this definitely is a game that aesthetically and audibly put Mario where they are today. It's why Mario Kart sounded this way for a minute. It's why certain Mario games sounded the way they did. This is a game that established what 2D Mario is, and specifically Mario as well. Getting his color palette down, getting Luigi kinda down as well, kinda, depending on how you look at it. And getting Yoshi as a thing, showing what other enemies and other creatures would look like finally in the Mario world. Dinosaur Land does have dinosaurs, and we get to see the dinosaurs and dragons, and that's something that feels like it belongs in the Mario universe. All in all, the presentation of this game is phenomenal, and I absolutely love it. Everything that I said about Mario 3 is amplified within this game, and it does still also kind of feel like it belongs on the Super Nintendo, like I said in the gameplay. I feel not as much in the visual department. It looks better, right? But I feel like it looks better if you know what you're looking for, right? If you're just looking at it from a glance after looking at like Mode 7 or the FX chip, you might disagree, but there is stuff in this game, like for instance how many sprites are allowed to be on the screen and how many colors are here. It shows that it belongs to the Super Nintendo, but I feel like that's with knowledge. Without it, you would probably just think it's just a regular game. So not a problem, mind you, because once again, aesthetically it's Mario, and I think that that's more important. Super Nintendo allowed it to look more like Mario, more like they envisioned it, at least I believe. So, you know, with that being said though, the presentation is great. And so is the music, super iconic. I feel like Mario 1 and 3, and this one do have iconic music, but I feel like talking about it is weird because it's Mario, right? Like you probably think of a song really quickly and it's probably Mario World or Mario 1 or Mario 3. So, you know, it's kind of hard to talk about them musically. They do great, you know? So, with that being said, I think the presentation's outstanding. So this game only was released, technically, on 3 consoles, and Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo is a little bit of a doozy, because this game will set you back about $11 to $30 to $50, right? I know that that's a big jump, but people really are everywhere with this game's price, and it kind of sucks, you know? I think it's interesting that this one is priced that way for how common of a game it is. Realistically, you'll pay more on the $15, you know, to $20 spectrum, but it's crazy on how people want more for it. This game also came out for the Game Boy Advanced. Because Nintendo hates me, they decided to name this game Super Mario Advanced 2. And that one you'll be set back about $18 to $20. There are some crazy people out there trying to sell it for more, but that's about where you should pay for it. And also there is the Super Mario All-Stars Plus World Pack, which will set you back about, debatably, about 30 to 50 bucks. So, you know, that's an interesting way to play this game. But in reality, once again, the thing that I'm going to continue to shill is NSO has all of these games. So If you are not a collector, I think that that's the recommended way to play this. And also, for the last time, I don't even know how I did it this time. I completely forgot that this game came out for the Super Nintendo Mini, or the Super Nintendo Classic. It's funny because I had one of these, and for some reason, I just completely forgot these existed. I don't know what's wrong with me, but this game was on it, and no doubt. With that being said, let's move on to the goods and the bads. Thank you for putting up with me. I know this video's late, but thank you for putting up with me. Okay, bye. What can I say that I haven't already said in the gameplay and the presentation? This game is just outstanding. I feel like this is a game that is a must-play if you are a Mario fan, and I feel like most people have. It's crazy, so crazy how good this game is, and it's so crazy how good the mechanics are that fans have made more challenging levels, and Nintendo has even kind of played with this concept. I think that that's crazy. That should tell you how good this game is, right? I don't even have to gush about it anymore. The fact of the matter is that it is still being played technically today without any caveats, without people like me having to like convince people, right? Or talk about it. The fact that there's a whole subsection based around this one is literally great. And I think that should tell you the quality. I think that should tell you the quality. I know that somebody can look at it and go, oh, well, that means that Super Mario wasn't hard enough, but I look at it as the gameplay was so good that they built upon it themselves. Crazy. Crazy. That being said, no game is perfect. The woods are the worst thing about this game. I feel like if you're a newcomer, that's where you're gonna get stuck, and I think that it's really great that it shows you that there's alternate ways to exit a level, but like, I don't know. I feel like that could be a frustrating point, especially since you're forced to do it, right? It is halfway through the game and it forces you to do it, and there's nothing else like it technically. I understand that Bowser's Castle is a little bit difficult too, but you'll eventually get it, you'll figure it out. But this one is one of those ones of where I know a lot of people have quit at this spot, and I know that it is technically a frustrating spot. Fair, fine. But I don't know, I think that that's probably the worst part of this game. Outside of that, this game's great, right? And even then, that doesn't matter. You can look up a walkthrough and it'll get you through, right? So it doesn't really matter 100%. Also, with the modern usage of NSO, you are able to rewind. So whatever difficulty is in this game, you could just kind of tell it nope. So at the end of the day, except for that one you still have to work around, but it's not the hardest. With that being said, that's really all the problems I have with the game. So, is Super Mario World worth playing today? Absolutely. If you're going to play any retro game at all, it should be this one. This game is outstanding. This game was a trendsetter. This game is purely just pure gold in a cartridge. Despite the fact that, yes, the pins are gold. This game is phenomenal. I cannot sing its praises enough. I think I have already in this episode. It's done so much for Mario in general. It made Mario the way he kind of is for a little bit aesthetically. It also made games like Mario Maker and so on and so forth. And I just can't love this game enough. With that being said, thank you so much for watching these videos. Any of them, I don't really care. It's been awesome to do these kind of videos, and this is kind of one that I've been waiting for and working on for a while, so I hope you enjoy them. And with that being said, I hope you learned something new. I hope you enjoy these games. Please tell me, what is your favorite Mario game in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next month if you're sticking with Mario, and if not, I'll see you guys sooner. Nostalgia goggles. I gotta go lay down. Bye!